What if I told you that the true cost of your car payment goes far beyond just the monthly bill? In this video, we'll break down the 10-year opportunity cost of owning a car, revealing how much your dream ride could really be costing you in lost investments. You'll learn how small decisions can lead to big financial consequences. Ready to uncover the hidden costs? Let's dive in. Have you ever thought about what that shiny new car really costs you? Sure, the monthly payment might seem manageable, but have you considered the true cost over a decade? Imagine this. You drive off the lot, feeling that rush of excitement. But what if I told you that car payment could actually be costing you tens of thousands of dollars in lost opportunities? Let's break it down. If you spend, say, $400 a month on your car, that adds up to nearly $50,000 over 10 years. Now, what if that money was invested instead? With a modest growth rate, you could be looking at a significantly larger sum by the end of that decade. So, are you ready to uncover the hidden costs of your car payment? Stick around as we dive deep into the numbers and reveal what you could be missing out on. And hey, if you find this information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Chill Finance for Real Life. Your support helps us keep these conversations going. Before we dive in, a quick reminder, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not financial, legal, or tax advice. Always do your own research and consider seeking professional guidance if needed. Alright, now let's zoom out and explore the true cost of a car payment. Many people think about the monthly payment, but what about the bigger picture? Imagine you're paying $400 a month for a car. Over 10 years, that adds up to a whopping $48,000. But wait, that's just the beginning. Let's consider the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what you miss out on when you choose one option over another. If you invested that $48,000 instead, let's say with an average growth rate of 6% per year, you could have over $80,000 after 10 years. Now, think about this. What could you do with that extra money? Maybe a vacation, a down payment on a home, or even saving for retirement. Here's a quick recap. The monthly car payment might seem manageable, but the long-term costs can be significant. And remember, this is just one example. Your situation might be different. So, when making financial decisions, ask yourself, is this car payment worth the potential future gains? It's always good to weigh your options carefully. Let's also consider the hidden costs of car ownership. Insurance, maintenance, and fuel can add hundreds or even thousands more to your expenses each year. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer picture of what a car payment really costs you over time. So, before you sign that car loan, think about the opportunity cost. It's not just about what you pay today, but what you could be missing out on tomorrow. Now, let's break down some strategies to manage or minimize these costs. Have you ever thought about the true cost of your car payment? It's more than just a monthly bill. It's an investment that could be working for you in other ways. Today, we're diving into the 10-year opportunity cost of a car payment and how that money could shape your financial future. Let's say you buy a car with a monthly payment of $300 and you're financing it over 5 years. That's a total of $18,000 just for the car itself. Now, let's assume you have an average interest rate of 7%. This means you're not just paying that $18,000, you're also paying interest. Over 5 years, the total cost of the car could balloon to around $21,000. Now, imagine what else you could do with that $21,000. If you invested that amount instead, let's see how it could grow over 10 years. At a 7% annual return, your investment could grow to about $41,000. That's right, by simply investing instead of spending, you could potentially double your money in a decade. Picture this, you're at a coffee shop, and you see a friend who just bought a new car. You chat about it, and while you're excited for them, you can't help but think about what that money could have done if it were invested instead. It's a relatable moment, isn't it? We often get caught up in the excitement of a new car, but it's crucial to consider the long-term implications. Now, let's take a step back and think about the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. In this case, by choosing to finance that car, you're giving up the chance to invest that money. If you break it down further, that's about $210 a month you could have invested instead of spent on a car payment. Over 10 years, that adds up. So, let's visualize this. You're driving your new car, feeling great about your purchase. But as the years go by, that car depreciates in value. After 10 years, it might only be worth $5,000. Meanwhile, the money you could have invested would have grown significantly. Think about it. Would you rather have a $5,000 car or a growing investment that could help you buy a home, fund your retirement, or even travel the world? It's a tough choice, but it's one that many people face every day. Now, let's recap what we've discussed. By choosing to finance a car instead of investing, you could be missing out on a substantial amount of money over time. The true cost of that car payment isn't just the cash you're spending, it's the future financial freedom you're sacrificing. As we wrap up, I want you to consider this. What would you do with an extra $21,000 10 years down the line? Would you invest it, save it for a rainy day, or use it for something that brings you joy? Before you make your next car purchase, take a moment to think about the bigger picture. Your financial future could depend on it. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, why not share it with a friend who might be in the market for a new car? You never know who could benefit from a little financial insight. Imagine this. You're sitting in your car, feeling the smooth leather against your skin, the engine purring softly. You love that feeling. But have you ever paused to think about what that car is truly costing you? Today, we're diving into the brutal math of a car payment and its opportunity cost over 10 years. Let's assume you're financing a car for a total of $30,000 at an interest rate of 7%. This interest rate is relatively common for auto loans, reflecting a balance between risk and reward for lenders and borrowers. Now, if you take out a loan for $30,000 at 7% interest for 5 years, your monthly payment will be approximately $650. Over the course of those 5 years, you will have paid a total of $39,000. That's $30,000 in principal plus $9,000 in interest. Now, what if you extend that payment period? If you finance the same car for 10 years, your monthly payment drops to about $430. Over the full 10 years, you'll end up paying about $51,000. That's $30,000 in principal plus $21,000 in interest. This means that by choosing a longer loan term, you're paying an additional $12,000 just in interest. Let's take a moment to think about what that $12,000 could have been used for. If you invested that amount instead, let's say in a diversified portfolio with an average annual return of 7%, you could have turned that into a much larger sum over the same 10-year period. Using the future value of a single sum formula, we can calculate how much that $12,000 could grow. The formula is simple. Future value equals present value multiplied by 1 plus the interest rate raised to the power of the number of years. In this case, we take $12,000, multiply it by 1.07 raised to the power of 10. After some quick calculations, we find that $12,000 invested at 7% could grow to approximately $23,000. That's right, by choosing to finance a car instead of investing, you could be missing out on an opportunity to gain an additional $11,000 over the decade. Now, let's think about the total cost of owning that car. If you add up the total payments over 10 years, $51,000, and subtract the initial cost of the car, $30,000, you're left with $21,000. That's the total interest paid. But what if you had used that money differently? If you had invested that total cost of $51,000 right from the start, and you earned that same 7% return, your investment could grow significantly over 10 years. Plugging $51,000 into our future value formula, we find that it could grow to about $101,000. That's right, $101,000. So, if we contrast that with the original $30,000 car purchase, you're looking at a staggering opportunity cost. By spending $51,000 on a car, You could be missing out on over $50,000 in potential investment growth. Now, let's pause for a second. Think about the last time you bought something you thought you needed. Did it really add value to your life? Was it worth the opportunity cost? As we wrap up this math breakdown, remember that every dollar spent on a car payment is a dollar that could have been invested. Opportunity costs are real, and they can add up over time. So, the next time you're tempted to finance that shiny new vehicle, consider what else that money could do for you. Would you rather drive a new car or invest for your future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your take on car payments versus investments? I'd love to hear your stories and insights. Thanks for tuning in to Chill Finance for Real Life. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, every financial decision counts. Imagine a young woman named Sarah. She's just graduated and landed her first job. Excited, she decides to buy a brand new car, thinking it will help her commute and make a great impression. The car costs $30,000, and she finances it over 5 years at a 7% interest rate. Now, let's do some quick math. Over 5 years, she'll pay about $36,000 for that car, including interest. But here's where it gets interesting. If Sarah had invested that $30,000 instead, at an average annual return of 7%, she could have seen it grow to about $50,000 in 10 years. So, what's the opportunity cost of her car payment? It's the difference between what she could have earned and what she spent. That's $14,000. Imagine what Sarah could have done with that money: travel, save for a home, or invest in her future. Now, let's meet David, a 35-year-old father of 2. He buys a used minivan for $20,000, financing it over 6 years at the same 7% interest rate. His total payments will be about $26,000. David thinks he's making a smart choice, but if he had invested that $20,000 instead, he could have turned it into around $31,000 over 10 years. That's a $5,000 difference. What could David do with that extra cash? Maybe a family vacation or a college fund for his kids. Now, let's talk about Linda, a retiree who buys a compact car for $15,000 with a 5-year loan at 7%. She'll end up paying about $17,000 total. If Linda had invested that money, it could have grown to around $23,000 over 10 years. That's a $6,000 opportunity cost. What if she had used that money for travel or to enhance her retirement lifestyle? Next, we have Mark, a 30-year-old entrepreneur who buys a truck for $40,000, financing it over 7 years. His total payments reach about $53,000. If he'd invested that initial amount, it could have grown to around $70,000. That's a whopping $17,000 opportunity cost. Lastly, consider Emma, a college student who buys a used car for $10,000. She finances it over 4 years. By the end, she'll pay about $11,000. If she had invested that $10,000, it could have grown to about $14,000 over 10 years. That's $3,000 she could have used for tuition or a study abroad program. Every car payment has a hidden cost that goes beyond monthly bills. It's a chance to invest in your future. So, what would you do with that extra cash? Imagine driving off the lot in your shiny new car, feeling that rush of excitement. But have you thought about the true cost of that car payment? First, let's break down the monthly payment. If you finance a car for $500 a month over 10 years, that adds up to $60,000. That's a significant chunk of change, right? Now, consider what else you could do with that money. Alright, now let's zoom out and look at opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what you give up when you choose one option over another. What if you invested that money instead? If you assume an average return of 7% per year, that could grow to over $100,000 in 10 years. Just think about that for a moment. Next, let's talk about depreciation. Did you know that a new car loses about 20% of its value in the first year alone? If your car costs $30,000, it could be worth only $24,000 after a year. Over 10 years, that loss can total tens of thousands. What if you invested that amount instead? Now, let's consider maintenance costs. Owning a car isn't just about the payment. You'll spend money on insurance, gas, and repairs. On average, these costs can add up to around $4,000 a year. Over 10 years, that's $40,000. Wouldn't it be nice to redirect that money into savings instead? Alright, let's not forget about the hidden costs. Parking fees, tolls, and even the time you spend driving can add up. Have you ever calculated how much time you spend on the road? If you value your time at $20 an hour, those hours could also be seen as a cost of ownership. Now, let's reflect on lifestyle choices. Owning a car can lead to a lifestyle that might not fit your financial goals. Are you spending more on a car to impress others? What if you chose a more economical option and invested the difference? Finally, let's wrap this up with a question. What's the real cost of your car payment? By understanding these factors, you can make better financial decisions. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever thought about how much that shiny new car is really costing you? Let's break it down. Many people think, it's just a car payment. I need a car to get to work. But what if I told you that over 10 years, that car payment could cost you more than you realize? Let's say your monthly payment is $500. That's $6,000 a year. Over 10 years, that's $60,000. Now, let's consider an opportunity cost. This means what you could have earned if that money was invested instead. If you invest that $60,000 with an average return of 7% per year, you could end up with over $120,000. That's a big difference, right? But some might say, I don't want to wait to enjoy my life. I need my car now. And I get it. But think about this. What if you bought a reliable used car instead? You could save a significant amount and still drive something that gets you from point A to point B. Now, let's address another common thought. I can't live without a car. Well, what if you considered alternatives? Public transport, carpooling, or even biking could save you money and give you more freedom in the long run. Alright, now let's zoom out. What if you took a moment to think about your financial future? What could you do with that extra money instead of a car payment? So, here's my question for you. Are you ready to rethink your car purchase? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about smarter financial choices. Have you ever thought about the true cost of that shiny new car? Many of us focus on the monthly payment, but there's so much more to consider. Today, we're breaking down the opportunity cost of a car payment over 10 years. Let's say your monthly car payment is $400. Over 10 years, that adds up to a whopping $48,000. But what if you took that money and invested it instead? Assuming an average annual return of 6%, you could potentially turn that $48,000 into over $80,000. Now, let's think about the hidden costs. Maintenance, insurance, and fuel can easily add another $10,000 over the same period. Suddenly, your car isn't just costing you $48,000, it's closer to $58,000. Alright, now let's zoom out. Imagine if you had invested that extra $10,000 as well. With the same 6% return, that could grow to around $16,000 over 10 years. So, your total opportunity cost could be over $94,000. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new car, but when you look at the numbers, it's clear that the cost goes far beyond the sticker price. So, what's your take? Are you willing to pay that price for the convenience of a new ride? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on making your money work for you. As we wrap up our exploration of the true cost of a car payment, let's reflect on some key takeaways. First, the total payment over 10 years can exceed the initial price of the car itself. Second, opportunity cost is real. That money could have grown in investments. Third, consider maintenance and insurance costs that add to the overall expense. Fourth, the impact of depreciation means your car loses value over time. Lastly, think about alternative transportation options that could save you money. Remember, it's not just about the monthly payment, it's about the bigger picture. If you found this insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Make every dollar count. Thanks for joining me today, and stay tuned for our next video where we'll dive into budgeting for life's unexpected expenses. Your financial journey continues.